Okay.
No, that's the perfect way to start.
Yeah, I know, right?
After making people watch that game as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because if it was Andy Dalton, then you don't have to watch the game. You know what's going to happen. But since Bryce was back, now all of a sudden you have to watch it. And you're like, why are you doing this to me? And then for Sean Payton to just twist his mustache at you, like, I will tie you down on those railroad tracks.
You ready to start?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's podcast alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovies inside Eford Studios in downtown Raleigh. Thanks to Empire Properties and thanks to Copiers Plus. Check them out online at copiers-plus.com. Print management, document management, get everything to the cloud. It's getting towards the end of the year. Probably looking at your budgets if you haven't already in your final quarter of the year. You're wondering, how can I save money in 2025? Easy. Print management, all at copiers-plus.com. As we like to say on this podcast, Joe, anybody can podcast on a Monday. And much like anybody podcasting on a Monday, anybody can script an opening drive for Bryce Young. Anybody could do that.
Sure.
And hey, you know what? We're going to get things started right out of the gate with the Carolina Panthers and telling you something good.
Tell me something good.
Complimentary football. Get things going. Turnover, little peanut punch, good field position, a little dink and dunk and running the ball down the field. Nice throw from Bryce Young to lead it. I mean, what more do you want? Well, things to go well the rest of the way. Because like I said, anybody can script an opening drive, Joe.
They won the first quarter 7-0.
Let's go.
Tell me something good.
I can also tell you something good. While everybody was hopeful, I think the good vibes going into Sunday's game really had something to do with the fact that there was a concert for Carolina at Bank of America Stadium the night before. And they raised a ton of money at Bank of America Stadium the night before. I believe the final tally was $24.5 million.
That is amazing. And yes, David and Nicole Tepper deserve a large share of that credit.
They do. Right down to the fact that Luke Combs, who helped put this thing together, was very, very appreciative of the Teppers to make this thing happen.
28 days ago, I called my manager and said, we have got to do a show. I don't know how. I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know where we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. My manager's first call was to the Carolina Panthers. My first call was to Eric Church. The Teppers and the Panthers have been so incredible. They donated this venue tonight for free. They donated the beer you're drinking. They donated the parking. They donated the work. They're paying the tax bill. Every single dollar that is made.
Whoa. Now you're talking my language.
Does David Tepper need to pay our tax bill if he wants to be truly charitable?
First thing I hear is free beer. Whoa.
Nice.
We do that. That's one of our tricks.
Yes.
Second thing I hear, though, is he paid for the taxes as well.
Look at this man.
I mean, I am not going to say a bad word about the Panthers in this entire episode.
Look, he's a billionaire. You think he knows how to get around some taxes?
Neither here nor there.
I'm just saying. He has a guy.
Neither here nor there. This is a good thing. This is tell me something good, and good on the Teppers.
Tonight is going straight up those damn mountains to the people that need it the most.
Yeah, so all jokes aside, yes, pretty awesome event. Terrible circumstances, but an awesome event that raised a ton of money that included Luke Combs, Eric Church, James Taylor was there, Keith Urban, Sheryl Crow, Billy Strings, Scotty McCreery was in the house as well. We got to catch up with Scotty here relatively soon to bring him back into the happy times of Wolfpack stuff. Talking about basketball. For instance, right? So regardless, so that's an incredible thing that happened at Bank of America Stadium. So there is your tell me something good portion of the program before we get into the rest of it.
Tell me something good.
Unfortunately for the rest of it in the Carolina Panthers, we knew the defense was going to be suspect. We now have two rookie QBs that have had career days against the Panthers defense. Caleb Williams was unlocked this season thanks to the Carolina Panthers. And now Bo Nix had his best day as a quarterback for the Denver Broncos thanks to the Carolina Panthers defense. It is what it is at this point. There's really no point in belaboring our discussion on the defense. So all the focus was on Bryce Young. He was given this opportunity because of an Andy Dalton car accident. Thankfully, Andy Dalton and his family are fine. Sprained his thumb, wasn't available for Sunday. He was not even dressed out for Sunday. I'd have to guess that he will be available this upcoming weekend for the Carolina Panthers because two things were abundantly clear in watching that game. Because I know you joked about this. Like, if it was Andy, we ain't watching.
Sure.
But because it was Bryce, I made sure that we were back home after youth hockey and a quick trip to Longleaf Swine for brunch, that I want to watch this Panthers game to see where Bryce is, right? And it's abundantly clear, given how they've positioned Bryce Young on the scout team, not working with the ones, Dave Canales being very adamant about the fact that his decisions are all based on believing in Andy Dalton and not necessarily developing Bryce Young after week 2. They're all in on Andy the rest of the way. That this team is out on Bryce. This team does not believe in Bryce Young, or at least Dave Canales does not believe in Bryce Young. And as the game progressed, you could tell that the game plan also showed you, as conservative as it was with the dinks and the dunks and trying to make the running game happen, which I know they want to make the running game happen regardless, but I'm pretty sure we did not see a deep shot from Bryce Young until they were down 21-7. It was very conservative from the jump. So that tells you that they don't believe Bryce Young can do what Dave Canales wants to do offensively. And given the opportunities to throw deep, Bryce Young doesn't have the confidence or doesn't have the ability to do it. I think it's more confidence in Bryce Young than it is actual physical ability. But that's where we are. There is zero confidence. And I guess I could do the SEO headline for YouTube today is Dave Canales has no confidence in Bryce Young, who also doesn't have confidence in his own game.
Yeah.
That's pretty sad to watch.
Even more important, his teammates don't have any confidence in him.
Do we need to play the clip from last week about the reaction?
And this
hard to read.
The sequence in the third quarter where they had consecutive delay of game penalties.
Yeah.
You're in the huddle.
Yeah.
You know, that was, as the announcer said, and I love watching the Panthers because you get like the Z team announcers. Like, I have no idea who these guys are. Not a single clue. They will never see a name brand announcer as long as they keep playing, right? No. So I have no idea who these guys are, but it's a delay of game, and he goes, the announcer, the straight guy, not the color guy, the straight guy just goes, this is a disaster. Mm-hmm. It is. It is. And your teammates have to have confidence in you. Your teammates have to believe in you. And as a quarterback, you have to be a leader. Bryce Young is not a leader. And I never bought into, and I never will buy into, but he was the first person at the practice field. He was there before the sun came up. He's the last person to leave. Everybody works hard. Mm-hmm. Everybody not named Johnny Manziel works hard. Okay. So that's not a trait. All right. Being good at a video game or some cognitive test is not a trait. You have to have physical skills. He does not have physical skills. The mental skills that were supposed to be the differentiator are not there. Mm-hmm. The confidence and the ability to lead is not there. He's 0 for 3. And there's no way around that anymore. And you can fake a lot of things. You cannot fake anything in a locker room with your teammates who are out there trying. Look at Tommy Tremble out there. Mm-hmm. It's a 28-7 game. It is clearly over. He's catching passes and he's diving for first downs. Meaningless football. But he's trying to fight for his job. You see a lot of that from their players. Now, they're not talented on defense, but you see them efforting. Mm-hmm. Heck, Sean Payton had to run a fake field goal and a loop-de-loop throwback in the second half to keep his players entertained. Right?
Well, put a pin in
for
that.
Him, or for his own personal, personal pleasure. Yeah. I take personal pleasure out of it.
Actually, screw it. Let's just get right to it. Did you see what the Denver Broncos tweeted after the game?
No.
This was a clip from Scott Van Pelt, who had talked to Steph Curry before the start of the season on SportsCenter. And the Denver Broncos posted this with the score 28-14.
Good luck with that.
Go Panthers.
Good luck with that.
Not even Steph Curry could keep a straight face with that, right? So I'm pretty sure that Sean Payton was the one who tweeted that himself.
Could be.
I think that's the case. But we'll get back to Sean Payton trolling in a second. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the thing with Bryce at this point is, I know I said give him the final month, but there's not even a point at this point. And they don't have anybody else, because I think they probably would have put the third string in if they had a live arm, that they thought there would be something to work with.
Yeah.
But again, if you want to get back to the ultimate, tell me something good. It is Monday, October 28th. The Panthers, yes, are 1-7, but they have their number 1 pick in next year's draft. And I can promise you they will be taking a quarterback with the number 1 pick in next year's draft. It'll be interesting to see if it is Cam Ward. We've seen a lot of stories about his leadership. We've seen a lot of stories about his confidence. You got to remember now, Miami was a 5-7 football team last year, and he has been a large difference. And you want to talk about overcoming incompetent coaching.
Yeah.
The crystal ball himself. So, look, I would just say you hold tight and you figure this thing out. I know their track record of picking these guys ain't great.
Well, yeah, I was going to say the Panthers are likely to do something like bring Shedeur Sanders on and give Deion Sanders offensive coordinator duties.
No more munchkins would be my advice.
That would be my advice.
No more munchkins,
but
no more outliers.
The Panthers do like the attention. David Tepper likes the attention. And
we control the draft.
I could see where they we could bring Deion here. That'll sell tickets. No. Winning will sell tickets. So back to Bryce. I think Sunday, barring further problems with Andy Dalton and the thumb, that's the last time we're going to see Bryce Young in a Panthers uniform on a Sunday. The question is, what are the Panthers going to do? What are they going to accept? I mean, with the trade deadline's coming up, the trade deadline has been focused on going into the weekend, Deontay Johnson, right? So Deontay Johnson was the subject, thanks to Adam Schefter, about how teams were calling the Panthers to see what's up. Because wide receiver right now is at a premium for some of these true playoff teams. But you've seen what the market set at with a couple of trades that have already happened, right? Like you saw what happened with the Buffalo Bills. You saw what happened with the Kansas City Chiefs and Hopkins. You saw what happened with the Jets, right? To bring friends of Aaron Rodgers back and things like that. So what is the value for Deontay Johnson? If the value for Deontay Johnson's a 4th rounder or a 5th rounder, I mean, the Panthers might not like it, but that's kind of what you're at right now, right? So the same goes with Bryce Young.
I'll just stop you right there. There is no value.
What I'm getting at is, you're right. There is no value, but if somebody wants to throw something at you to bring them on, at this point, you take it, because at this point, there's no use in keeping
28. Yeah, I would trade Deontay Johnson.
Oh, they're going to trade him.
Yeah,
I think it's a foregone conclusion at this point. It's just, what are they going to be comfortable taking? Because they're going to have to kind of get over themselves in terms of like how they're going to move some of these pieces. The same thing goes for Bryce Young, because
there is no trade market for him. I'm just telling you that right now.
Okay.
There's nothing.
Zero.
You make him. I would cut him. I'd cut him in the offseason.
Okay.
Because you're not going to pick up. Obviously, let's hope they don't pick up his option.
They're not going to do that. No, they're not going to do that.
Let's start there.
No,
you cut him.
No,
you outright cut him. He's not an NFL player. Period.
You're not going to do that. You're definitely not going to do that. Now, the other thing that came out of the game is the fact that you brought up the Sean Payton loop-de-loops and the fake punts and all that stuff when the game was clearly out of hand. This is, I think, baked into the fact that Sean Payton, you can't take him out of the NFC South in all the ways he loved to stick it to the Panthers.
Yeah.
So here was his opportunity to stick it to the Panthers again. And the Panthers were not too keen on that. J.C. Horn, after the game, was jawing at the sideline, clearly trying to say something to Sean Payton. And Sean Payton was asked about that after the game, and his response was truly pure, just uncut, 100% pure Colombian Sean Payton saltiness.
Sean, it looked like Horn was yelling at you after the game.
I coached his father, and so I was yelling back at him, and I think I don't know what the exchange was, but his father, I enjoyed coaching, and I enjoyed him. He was frustrated. I think he was yelling at one of our other players. So I like him. I think he's a good player. Anything else? Thanks.
And he just dashes. Joe Person was in the locker room. Joe Person from The Athletic, who covers the Panthers. He got in front of Sam Franklin. Sam Franklin was not too keen on some of the stuff that was happening after the game.
Yeah, we're all competitors at the end of the day. We just felt like there's something that could have been avoided. Like, you shouldn't have to try to run the score up, even though you already winning. Like, it's 5 minutes left. You guys doing trick plays, still trying to score. So basically just trying to embarrass us. So, but I just have faith in this team. I feel like.
Do you though? Anyway, trying to embarrass this team. I mean, the team is kind of doing it on their own. They don't need the Denver Broncos to add to their embarrassment. At 1-7, you just ask your question. You just ask the question, what are you looking to do the rest of the way? I know Julian Council asked this on Locked On Panthers. At 1-7, what are you really gaining from putting Andy Dalton back out there, who's about to turn 37? Are you putting him back out there to see if you can use him as a bridge quarterback next year?
I was going to say, I would actually play Young just to ensure that you get that number 1 pick.
Or you do that. Because that's the other thing, too.
The Titans are on your heels. The Browns, who the heck? Well, they got rid of their problem.
Right.
The Jets are going to spiral pretty quickly here, too.
Because I can't imagine that Dave Canales is in the Frank Reich position of getting fired in his first year. I don't see that happening. So
I hope not.
I mean, unless you have to have an honest conversation with Dan Morgan and David Tepper about, okay, we clearly have some answers here. Now, going forward at 1-7, what do you want to do? Do you want to make it abundantly clear, salt the earth on your way out when it comes to Bryce Young, to make it abundantly clear to those who are even clinging on to the glimmer of hope for Bryce Young that it ain't going to happen here? Now, in the process, you completely shatter his confidence to a broken man state where I don't even know if he could survive his next job. I mean, he'll be a backup somewhere. Do you just make damn sure? Or if you're Dave Canales, are you still trying to prove it to your room and to Andy Dalton, or prove it with Andy Dalton that, no, I believe in my system, so let's keep it going.
In my small math brain, I can't function. I can't figure out a whole lot of things, which is why I love plus minus as a indicator.
Yeah.
You realize that the Panthers plus minus is -147.
Jeez.
Do you know what the next worst team is? -76.
That's terrible.
Like they're twice as bad as anyone in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
That's amazing if you think about it. Tell me something good. They're twice as bad as the next worst team in the NFL. We ain't just bad. We're twice as bad.
They're terribly bad. We were talking about confidence in Bryce Young. Not even Vegas had confidence in Bryce Young.
Dude, it went off at 13.5.
So going into the game initially, when Andy Dalton was the starter before the car accident, was it not like 8.5 or 9?
It opened at 7.5.
7.5.
Went off at 13.5. And yet, of course, it covers by. Look, Vegas.
So damn, good. Man.
So good.
That's how bad it is for Bryce Young that Vegas went, wait, what? Nah. Put it up. Let's go. So anyway, jeez. But I can tell you something good about DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. If you are finding misery in watching the Carolina Panthers, you can find other ways to get enjoyment, and that is to do things like the live line, or I think there's going to be a touchdown on this drive, or you know what? I am so confident the Carolina Panthers are going to do a 4-and-out. Well, you can get into the nitty-gritty there on DraftKings. All sorts of fun ways to participate at DraftKings. Download the app today. Use the promo code OG24. New customers who bet $5 will get $200 in bonus bets. Maybe you're just like, man, I'm off that Panther stuff. It's basketball season. The NBA is finally back, which means you can get on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. You can do something as simple as how many threes, straight up money line, all that stuff. And again, new customers can bet $5. They get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Or you could do the chalkiest parlay futures of all time, like Joe Giglio wants to do, in that he's got the Chiefs still being the Chiefs.
Not want to. I just did the irate Giglio parlay.
So you get to get the Chiefs and a parlay adding what now?
The Chiefs, who I really can't stand.
Yeah.
Duke basketball, no thank you. And the Boston Celtics, double no thank you. Although I do like Jason. I like both Tatum and Brown.
Yeah.
They're totally motivated. That is a +20. That's a +20,250 parlay.
Oh, that's so gonna hit.
$33 makes 6,700. I know I've done this bit before.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell how good Duke is going to be by those either preseason games or early season games.
Yeah.
And I remember the first game of the pandemic, they beat like Coppin State by like 15 points. And I said, oh boy, this team is in trouble, sir. These are when Duke does not drop the hammer on you in the exhibition or the early season, that's when you know they're in trouble. Well, do you know what the hammer is? I now have a new faith in John Shire because I didn't know he had it in him.
Mm-hmm.
Beats Julius Hodge 107-56. Cool. You're like, yeah, it's a D2 team.
Was it Lincoln is where he's coaching?
Yeah, congratulations, right? Bobby Hurley in an emotional homecoming back to Cameron. Coach K comes out, yucking it up, doing their thing. Bobby Hurley, one of the hardest sons of bitches there ever was. John Shire beats him 103-47. Just puts it in his ear. Like, oh, really? Oh, you think we came back for the brotherhood? You think we came back for charity? No, sir. No, sir. I have a mega weapon here. And it's not Cooper Flag. Thank you, jerks. I can already hear you saying to me, well, your Cooper Flag tag was way off. No, they actually added old players, and the big dude is going to be a serious problem for everyone. So I was on this last year when I told you people this year would be your year. So don't get mad at me, Duke fans. Don't make me make the Rialto sticker a reality now that I'm in the sticker business. This is your year. Told you this was your year. 10-1 is an amazing number. Go get it right now.
Duke's back on the, what were you saying? The Coach K. The league.
Trust me. This guy,
screw you.
Coach K professed to care about the ACC more than anyone else, and no one else on a Tuesday in February would just beat you by 55 when you were on the bubble. Like, oh, cool, man. You want to get in the tournament? Yeah, I love the league. Our league is the toughest. Oh, and here you go. I'm going to beat you by 55.
Crush you.
Yeah, I'll crush all your hopes and dreams.
Every point counts with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use that promo code OG24. New customers, you'll get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. It's time for the legal read. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball. Absolutely nailed it.
Housekeeping.
Brought to you by Enovana. Check them out online at enovana.com. Green Cleaning Solutions.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it clean with Enovana.
That jingle was brought to you by Bud the Jingle Man. And we saw Bud the Jingle Man performing at the Matt Davis State Farm Ring of Fire, where you and I were meat judges.
We were.
You were judging the smoked meats. I was judging the chili. It's all good stuff.
We had a great time.
So it was good to see Bud. He was rocking his Breaking Tea, Ovies and Giglio ice cap shirt. Always repping. Love to see that.
He was, yes.
I don't know if you remember it or not. Do you remember seeing Bud?
I do.
Do you remember taking a picture while holding the Weller antique?
No.
I posted it on our Instagram page.
Oh, nice. Good.
It was an Instagram story over the weekend.
Good call. Good call.
You were extra litty on Saturday. All thanks to Matt Davis over at State Farm. Check him out online InsureGuarder.com. He can save you on home and auto, and he'll also hand you a moonshine drink that will send Joe Giglio into outer space.
Don't forget, we're going to be there Thursday.
I know. No moonshine for you on Thursday.
At the office. We do have Canes tickets to give away, though.
Yes, we do have Canes tickets. Please, no moonshine for Giglio. Although maybe not. Maybe we have you sipping on some moonshine.
That was enough.
That was enough? You had two of those? Well, first and foremost, you had 2 shots of Weller.
Not shots. I had drinks.
You had 2 sodas and Weller on the way over there.
Well, I mean, I started at noon.
Okay. Yeah. Well, when I got there at like 1:30,
right,
and you were already done.
Yeah.
And I looked at Jess and I said, "Get your man." And she's like, "I can't." I was like, "Okay, fair enough." Anyway, big thanks to Mac Davis. The chili. There was some good chili.
Yeah.
There was like a chicken verde chili that was really good. Had a little spice on the back end. But my favorite was the most traditional form of chili, right down to the texture and the beans and the presentation. That was the clear winner for me. So contact Matt Davis. I don't know where this went. InsureGarner.com, theoginsurance.com, or call 779-8277. Speaking of homes, maybe it's time for you to buy a new home. You're looking at new construction. Well, the folks at myhtr.com, Hometown Realty, can help you out with incentives in new construction. And new construction is going up everywhere. Make sure you are utilizing everything that's available to you. And our friends at myhtr.com can do that. Maybe you bought that house. Maybe you sold the house. You got to take it to closing. Whitaker and Hamer can help you out with that. Maybe you're a small business and you are looking for standard boilerplate contracts for employees, things like that. Well, Whitaker and Hamer can help you out with that as well. Attorneys and counselors at law, they got everything covered for you. Go to wh.lawyer. Speaking of having everything covered for you, tailgate season, they've got it for you at Breeze Through. Beer caves, snacks, and most importantly, gas to get you home. So head on over to breezethrough.com today and download the app. You can save money on gas as well. But more importantly, visit them on your way to one of the football stadiums or Lenovo Center ahead of a hockey game when the Canes eventually come back from this road trip.
At some point, they just keep winning, too.
I know, right? They look good. They look good. We're going to talk to Luke DeCock about that tomorrow. Wrap up this road trip for the Canes and what we've seen so far. So again, go to breezethrough.com today. Over to college football, where I want to just juxtapose this for Duke. Let's lead with Duke.
Okay.
Duke had an opportunity against SMU on Saturday night at Wallace Wade to keep this pretty incredible first season for Manny Diaz going. And they were doing it in a very Duke way. Okay. Hanging around, answering when they had opportunities to answer. I talked about this with Lauren Brownlow on the ACC Panic Room, which is part of OG Fans, OGTriangleMedia.com. I thought that Duke was going to win the game when they had a fourth down, where they had a goal line stand against SMU when they were only down a score, and they stop them. Okay. And I was like, all right, this is where like the Manny Diaz in the sewer, they've been having good fourth quarters. This is where things start to turn for them. And I think they're going to pull this thing off. And then I went, oh, wait, no, because Duke didn't do anything with that. SMU gets the ball back. They go up 21-7. I think that was a sequence. But Duke answered again. I'm like, oh, okay. This is a consistency for Manny Diaz and Duke so far this season. They have an answer. Cool. They get back into this game. They tie it up. And then SMU proceeds to just lose the plot. 3 possessions, 3 turnovers. 6 turnovers in all, -6 on the night. But in that sequence of 3 turnovers in about a 9-minute game time span in the fourth quarter, Duke missed a 42-yard field goal, punted, and then had a 30-yard field goal blocked. Now, I know you had some question as to whether or not that 30-yard field goal was even legal.
I have not seen enough online. Now, this is where Duke fans, you're letting your people down.
Yeah.
Because if this happened to NC State, there would be pitchforks in Charlotte right now over the officiating.
And some in Greensboro who didn't realize they had moved to Charlotte.
Right. You're not allowed to jump over people.
Yeah.
Like that. I saw that. My immediate reaction was, that's a penalty.
I think the argument is they went through. I think that's the argument.
Sir, you've done this for a long time.
I know.
If this had happened to NC State, there would be rioting in the streets.
Hell,
rioting.
Georgia Tech fans are mad at the chain gang moving the first down marker, for heaven's sake.
Yeah,
right?
I saw like a Zapruder breakdown, and I was like,
I have not seen that yet with the field goal. But you know me, bootstraps. Hey man, don't let it come down to that. But Duke still had an answer, despite the fact that they had 3 possessions,
and they had the ball in their hands on the 2-point play to win the game. And Manny did the right thing there, I thought, as well.
Absolutely did the right thing, trying to win the game right there in the overtime with a 2-point conversion. So now Duke has this, again, this is something that would happen at NC State. Yes. So I'm thinking State, right? But no, it happened to Duke. This is an incredible stat. Prior to SMU's win, FBS teams were 1 in 124 this century when losing the turnover battle by 6 or more.
How many times do you act? That's amazing that there's been 125 games where there's been a -6
Yes.
in the turnover. That's incredible.
Marshall beating Memphis in November of 2011 was the last time. So congratulations to Duke for making history in that situation. I juxtapose that with what Pitt did on Thursday night against Syracuse, where they turned 5 interceptions into 31 points.
I don't know. Just take your turnovers and make points.
Just go out there and do that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
This stat, by the way, from Thursday night was incredible, where Syracuse was down 17-0. 17-0. And Pitt only had 16 yards of total offense to that point. So it is pretty incredible that Duke had 6 turnovers and could not turn that into anything down the stretch. But I'll say this, because this gets us to a larger conversation about the ACC. Because now you've got Pitt, SMU, Miami, and Clemson all undefeated in ACC play.
And only Pitt and Clemson play each other.
This will sort itself out because you got Pitt and SMU. No, Pitt and SMU play, I think, next week.
Okay.
I mean, isn't that why expansion happened?
So Pitt and SMU.
So that Pitt and SMU could have a huge night of implications for the ACC.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
But now Miami doesn't play anybody down the stretch.
Pitt has SMU and Clemp.
Okay.
Yeah.
So SMU and Pitt next weekend. Clemson, as you mentioned. So some of this will sort itself out going forward.
Not necessarily, though.
But not necessarily.
It could.
Because Miami's going to take care of their business. I feel like Clemson should be taking care of their business.
Clemson has the most difficult schedule down the stretch, but I have more confidence in Clemson getting to 8-0 than any of the other teams. Miami, I mean, I don't know if you saw that the line in the Miami game was 21.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
How it got to 22 was as wonky as you could possibly ever see.
So this is where I get back to Duke, right? So we have all these things going on.
Who Miami plays next?
Miami plays Duke next. And what I've seen out of Miami so far and what I've seen out of Duke could come to a head on Saturday. First about Duke, I think so far, Manny has shown you they have an answer. So it's entirely possible, given how they've been playing, that they'll have an answer against a Miami team, which gets to their point. That defense is not good. And they've basically been saved by Cam Ward. They are riding that lightning.
Miami's defense.
Miami's defense is not good.
Right.
And they are riding that lightning with Cam Ward, both the good and the bad. Now, I think Cam Ward is good enough, as you mentioned earlier about the NFL draft and everything else. I think he's good enough that he can single-handedly get Miami to the college football playoff. But you look at who Miami's played. They haven't played anybody. It's entirely, I mean, when you look at what the records are, Florida State stinks, Florida stinks. When they complete the season, it's entirely possible that Miami has no top 25 wins on their way to a very curious roller coaster of a season with Cam Ward in particular.
They murderballed Florida.
They did.
I'm giving them credit for Florida.
They did.
And I think if you look at the Sagarin rating, Florida's 24 in the Sagarin ratings. They're not a bad team. Florida State's terrible.
They're bad.
Florida State's terrible. Please don't get me wrong on that one.
Yeah.
But no, Florida's actually not that bad.
I think the Miami Duke game is going to be a lot closer than people might anticipate.
Oh, totally agree.
And I can see Duke winning that game. I can see Duke winning that game, dude. Given the way that Duke's been playing and hanging around and actually being benefited by turnovers, even though they can't do anything with it. I mean, look, I hope that Manny Diaz breaks out a Duke version of the Bull City move, and it's a turnover Duke.
A bedazzled D.
Yeah. Why not?
You can bedazzle. Why can't you bedazzle? Why not? Why not?
Fair enough.
No, I mean, under old math, I would say, Miami. Remember the old days Miami and Florida State would play?
Yeah.
And the next week, the winner, you'd be like, oh, man. Or the loser would basically give up on the season.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, under the old math, I'd look at that and go, you're right. There's some emotion involved here, but I don't know. I think Miami is an interesting team in the sense I forgot who told us this. It might have been Chip Patterson that they're this year's Washington.
Yes.
They have a really good quarterback. They have a really good offense, but they don't exactly do things the way that you want them to do them.
No, they do not. They do not. Now, speaking of Miami, Mario Cristobal it's funny, there's like a Miami and a Duke tie in this particular case because you got Mario Cristobal doing a WWE promo after the win against Florida State. Mike Elko.
I'll never believe, just as a quick aside before I will never believe a word that comes out of Mario Cristobal's mouth after he sat with us and said it was the best recruiting class Miami's ever had.
Well,
sir,
always be recruiting.
Sir,
I know.
Sir.
I know.
Sir.
You got to remember, though,
Sir.
that you got to remember that those Miami teams that we all remember fondly, Butch Davis wasn't exactly pulling in 5-star recruits.
I don't care what the ratings were. I know who the Hall of Famers and first-round picks were.
That's fair. That is fair. But both Mario Cristobal and Mike Elko had WWE shoot promos after big wins over the weekend. So let's bring you the Mario Cristobal first. This was from Clay Ferrara over at WPLG, the station that I used to watch back when I lived in South Florida. He was feeling it.
All recruits in-state, out-of-state can now clearly see the trajectory of this program versus the trajectory of the other programs.
Fist pound, I'm out.
Ooh.
Look at him talking the big talk. He's
so
not
effective.
He's not wrong, though. He's not wrong. Florida State's going through it right
said
now.
The same thing last year if you were
Florida's
Florida
going
State.
through it right now.
It's fleeting, man.
At least I know who exactly he's talking about. He's talking about Miami. He's talking about Florida State and Florida. Now, Mike Elko, after a thorough win over LSU.
Give it to me.
This is from Andy Staples. This was Mike Elko's come to death row speech, accurately described.
Yeah, I think it's the way we talk to the young people. I think the things that we talk about, the messaging, how we bring really good people into the building. We talk about doing things together. We talk about culture, and everyone talks about it. But then we go out and we live it every day. And I think we back up our actions. We're very honest. We're very open. And this is a real program. It's not fake. It's not a politician running this program, talking fast and BSing everybody. This is a real program. And for all the recruits out there, this is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
My first thought was he was subtweeting Jimbo, talking fast and BSing.
I thought that too. But remember, Elko had coached with Jimbo at Texas A&M for a hot minute.
Right.
But then I started thinking about the times when I told you to stop asking Elko about Jimbo. Remember? Like
it was
or who was it?
Clausen.
It was Clausen. That's who it was. That was Clausen. It was Clausen. He was like, yeah. I get it. We're moving on from that. He's been to other places, Notre Dame and Texas A&M being in particular. But yeah, my initial thought was also talking about Jimbo. But if I remember correctly, unless something has changed, I thought Jimbo and Mike's relationship was relatively good. Maybe I'm missing something here. Or was he talking about LSU and Brian Kelly specifically? My family.
So I need my Texas A&M friends, my brothers in arms, my ag school, my land grant, my second fiddle in your state. I need you to have a seat. I know you feel good.
Oh,
boy. You're 7-1. You're 5-0 in the SEC.
Okay.
I have seen your future. You are NC State with money. And I'm going to tell you what would happen exactly to NC State in this position. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen to you in this position. You should feel good right now. You should. However, you are going to play Texas in your regular season finale. You are going to lose to Texas. And then you're going to finish the season at 10-2 while Texas and Georgia play in the SEC championship game. You are going to be left out of the college football playoff for the team that you lost to in week 1, Notre Dame. You're going to watch Alabama make the college football playoff at 10-2. And you are going to sit there and you are going to be very, very mad because the team you got away from, Texas, and you had your own thing in the SEC for what, 10 years?
Yeah.
You had it all to yourself. And now here they come to piss in your cornflakes and tell you it's milk. And I apologize to you in advance that this is going to happen to you because really it's a triple whammy.
Yeah.
You got Texas coming back. It was going to beat you in the last week of the season, ruin your season.
Hey, Texas did not look so hot this past weekend against Vandy, dude.
Wait till the lights come on.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
That's that happens first. Then you realize, oh God, they're going to put Notre Dame, who lost to Northern Illinois and whose only good wins are going to be Army and Navy.
They're back
over you. Okay. That hurts. That stings. And then you're going to have the pièce de résistance. You're 10-2 Alabama's 10-2.
Mhm.
Wait a second. Alabama lost to Vanderbilt.
Doesn't matter.
Sir, this is a Wendy's. You are about to get it in the ear, in the mouth, through the back door, and you are not going to be happy about it. So, pretty please, the sugar on top. Please, just keep pushing on because you will have your moment. I promise you will have your moment. It's just not going to be this year and the way that you want it.
You know, I always like to say there's something for everybody on the internet.
Yes.
And this is now the second time you've made
Ear.
reference to putting it in the ear. You know your phone listens, right?
Oh no.
You know your phone listens, right?
Is this all going to get a sorority dance that somehow ends with an ear?
Like I was making a joke about, because I had to sitting down, going back to the Panthers real quick. We were sitting watching the Panthers, and I was watching CBS. I was watching over the air and like truly paying attention on an NFL Sunday to the commercials for once, right? So all the shows that CBS runs now, it's like Fire Country.
Oh, with Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
Is that the one with Rob Lowe?
I think that's the one with Rob. You got Fire Country, where apparently every day there's a forest fire. I don't want to live there, man. I'd move. That was, I'm sorry. At some point you go, man, I'm out.
It's the Jessica Lange theory of Murder, She Wrote, that she's really a serial killer.
She's really the serial killer, yes. Like,
Rob Lowe starting all these fires.
Right.
There's only one answer.
You got promotions for Yellowstone. Like, how many times can that family backstab each other?
Oh.
Right? Are they broke or do they have money? I don't know. Find out this week on Yellowstone, right? There was something for like NCIS Origins. It's all sorts of crazy stuff, right?
Origin story.
So I was watching. So I make a joke to somebody about it. I pull up Instagram, and what do I get? I get a reel of somebody making fun of
CBS lineup.
CBS lineup. Like, I'm like, come on now. So all this is to say, Joe, careful. You keep talking about putting it in the ear. You're going to start getting some interesting OnlyFans content sent your way. All right.
What'd you say? 67 million?
67 million. So maybe that's the hook. Anyway, we digress.
Home field.
No, not home field. It's time to talk about UNC.
Hit a sounder on that one.
I was gonna say, woo! You know what? Talking about what you were talking about.
I think my juices flow all the time.
My juices flow all the time. All right.
My guy's a big Dodger fan. God.
Yeah, no, things have been going fine for them. All right, so Tar Heels. Two things about the Tar Heels. One is, on a serious note, open week, they have a celebration of life for Tylee Craft, and they're also in a 4-game losing streak. So you got the real life, you got the football life. And to your credit, you had pointed out that Virginia probably poured it out against Clemson, and that Dabo was probably taking it somewhat easy on his guy, Tony Elliott. Fair enough. What I did not expect was for complete domination by the Tar Heels.
Yeah.
So I feel like there was a bit of a cathartic out for the Tar Heels, given everything that they've been going through with one of their teammates. And then also Mac rallying the troops to get this thing back on track. Because, he said we're a couple possessions away from this season being completely flipped. And he's not wrong in that. The question is, can Carolina close? So this game pretty much featured everything. Honestly, this game for the Tar Heels probably was their most complete game of the year, if you really think about it, both defensively and on offense. They even had a thick 6, dude. Thick 6 in the house. Let's go, right? Which credit to, I listened to the picks. I listened to the thick 6 while in the car listening to Jones Angel and Bryn Renner, who was the analyst for the radio network this weekend. And Bryn lost his shit. It was highly entertaining. As I said on ACC Panic Room, if you can find the clip somewhere online, please listen to it, because Bryn starts to lose it, and then Jones is feeding off of that, and it was a highly entertaining 30 seconds of play-by-play. Highly entertaining 30 seconds of play-by-play. So I highly recommend you go and find it. So the question for the Tar Heels going forward, and I know Andrew Carter wrote about this in the News and Observer today, and he makes a very, very good point about Mac and UNC and really any team in the triangle. It's a yeah, but, okay? You win, you can reset the year after your open week. Great, but ... And Mac's whole offseason protocol was about remember November, right? All these years here in the past where they've dropped off in November. Their defense has given up big plays and all that kind of stuff. They can't close. Maybe Mac got the inverse. Maybe they got the start of the season out of the way with a 4-game losing streak. And their schedule is manageable the rest of the way, including a game that we'll see if they get up off the mat for the Wolfpack to close out the season strong. Can they do it? It's entirely possible. It's there for them. It's just unfortunate that recent history has suggested for the Tar Heels they won't. But I can be proven wrong.
I should never say that Mac is going to beat his alma mater, but this is the week. He's going to be super emotional, just like he was last year when they beat Duke.
Yeah.
They're going to beat Florida State this week, and he might walk it off himself.
Dude, I don't know about that.
After finally beating Florida State's, they just lost to Miami.
But Joe.
Done.
Joe, here's the thing.
I know it's never happened. Mac has never beaten them.
Well, you're right. This is where the inverse happens, right? So Duke has never beaten Mac. They finally do it, and they do it.
No, they have, but
no. Mac has not lost to Duke.
He did.
Oh, that's right.
First 2 years.
His first 2 years.
88.
That's right.
89,
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. The streak had been ongoing.
13.
Right?
Yep.
Gotcha. So maybe that's what the inverse here is. But I talked about this with Brownlow and ACC Panic Room. We've seen really talented North Carolina teams lose to bad Florida State teams. Now, is there a difference between what we saw them dropping down early against that bad early Mike Norvell year? Was it the pandemic season?
Yeah, that was a pick 6 and a block punt.
Yeah. Like a complete meltdown to start. And while they got back into that game, it was too little too late, right?
The key here is Carolina's only a 3-point favorite.
Aha!
Not a double-digit favorite.
Well, you know what?
I'm telling you, Carolina wins this game. We're getting crazy emotional, Mac, this week. I promise you. My Carolina radar is locked tight.
All right.
Locked tight. I told you last week what was going to happen. I'm telling you this week what's going to happen.
Okay.
You're right. Their schedule is manageable down the stretch here. The State game, that's the one game you can trust Dave Dorn in. So that could be ultimately an interesting game. But Carolina's 4-4 now. They have 2 more wins in them. Yes, absolutely.
We'll see what happens. Well, we gave you a trauma dump or a what's on Giglio's algorithm dump, which means we got to talk about home field.
Bring it home.
Let's go. Homefieldapparel.com is the website. Use the promo code OG24. I'd like to think when I see somebody wearing a bomber jacket out in the wild, they use our promo code to save money. Save 15% off your order with OG24 at Home Field Apparel. It is prime hoodie season right now. They get incredibly comfortable hoodies. I was rocking a home field hoodie yesterday while freezing my butt off at Invisalign Arena. It was good stuff. Keep you warm. All at homefieldapparel.com. They also got these satin pullovers as well, which are great.
New
corduroy hat season as well. They got some cool local corduroy hats. All you got to do is go to homefieldapparel.com. Use that promo code OG24 to save 15% off your order. It's also chocolate chess pie season at Two Roosters. And our guy Jared prefers that if we're going to talk about the chocolate chess pie ice cream, that I do it like the fair. So go on over to tworoosters.com and find out more about their chocolate chess pie and other ice cream pies. Is that good enough?
Perfect.
There we go. Go to tworoosters.com. It is spooky season for Two Roosters. If you go to their Instagram channel, they have a very amusing reel where they talk about store horror stories while they're making ice cream. It's all visually appealing. So go to tworoosters.com. And while you pick up some pints of Two Roosters, you know what I would suggest for you to use later to really enhance your Two Roosters experience while you melt in the couch? Nature's Relief. Nature's Relief Hemp Store, RELEAF hempstore.com. I utilized the goodies from Nature's Relief when I went and saw Sturgill Simpson last week twice. When I saw him on night 2, I was sent to the moon by Sturgill and by Nature's Relief. So go to naturesreliefhempstore.com, RELEAF hempstore.com. And of course, our friends over at Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. The seasons are changing, but your pest control needs will always be there just to adapt to what's going on. So go to bugsbite.com. You might not need mosquito service as it gets colder outside, but you're going to need service for the inside of your house, and Pest Authority can help you out there. So again, check out bugsbite.com and you can bundle and save with our friends at Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. All right, let's get into some NFL lightning round. Thanks to our friends at Sam Jones Barbecue. Check out Sam Jones in downtown Raleigh. Get some legit, truly original, legendary pulled pork with the crackling mixed in. The sides are fantastic. And as we get closer to holiday entertaining season, they can cater. They even got a Thanksgiving menu, Joe.
All you got to do is go to samjonesbbq.com.
I'll be going there for lunch this week. You might see me while hanging out, and then I'll head over to Sound Off to go buy records because I can walk to Sound Off from Sam Jones.
Perfect.
So there you go. Make a whole afternoon out of it. Get some barbecue and go buy some records with our friends at Sam Jones. All right, Joe, let's get started here. When does the Jets run start, Joe?
Ouch. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I should have known. This was my pet theory last year. Or let me show you something.
Okay.
Let me show you.
Are you getting active on the StreamYard here?
Hang on 1 second.
Okay.
I have a theory that Joe Namath made a deal with the devil. This is the face of a man who made a deal with the devil.
Okay.
Right? Like, there's no way around.
Yeah, it's him in Miami.
That person made a deal with the devil to win Super Bowl III.
Yeah, iconic photo.
Yeah, the biggest underdog in the history of the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Super Bowl III.
Mm-hmm.
It's Super Bowl 59 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a deal with the devil that if something could go wrong with the Jets for after winning Super Bowl III, it will.
Okay.
And Mike Francesa, I think, actually has this one even better than my theory about Joe Namath.
Yeah, you sent this to me. I am
because they were in nuclear meltdown mode yesterday. I wish I had sent you the clip. The official post-game show of the Jets, like on whatever the Jets cable services in the metro area.
Yeah, I think it's SNY.
Yeah. They literally opened it up with, it's Sunday, October 27th. The Jets season just ended. Forget about the Super Bowl. Forget about whatever. The Jets season just ended today.
All right. So I have two thoughts with this Mike Francesa clip. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see Mike Francesa. And my first thought in looking at Mike Francesa was, God, I hope I don't look like that in 15 years.
By the way, what are they doing here?
What do you mean?
Are they doing an After Dark?
They are doing an After Dark.
I thought we invented that.
No.
Wait, I thought we had no. Going back. I thought we had no good ideas.
No, absolutely not, Joe. Absolutely
Weird.
Not.
So Mike Francesa does an After Dark.
Weird.
Interesting.
I know, right?
Never would have come up with that.
Hey, look, man, who would have thought taking calls after a game live would be smart? So strange. So strange. So here's Mike Francesa.
On YouTube.
I'm looking at Mike Francesa going, God, I hope that's not us in 15 to 20 years. But it might be because there's no signs of us retiring. We can't do it. But here's Mike Francesa.
Everything the Jets touches turns to garbage. Complete and utter garbage. I never thought they could top some of the stuff they've done in the past. But you know what? Today was as low could possibly be.
Here's the thing. They lose to the Patriots. I get it. The Patriots are coming off a tumultuous week where Gerard Mayo called this team soft, and people are very, very mad that he outwardly said they were soft. Rex Ryan went viral this weekend for calling Mayo out for doing that. I know Bill Belichick has been in a weird media game calling Gerard Mayo out for doing that sort of stuff. But here's where people forget, and what I've been mad at for the longest time. Are you watching the same thing I'm watching? Are you so blinded by Aaron Rodgers' past success where he could win solely on talent that you think at his age and his injury history, he's going to still be able to do it? What? Like, I know I don't get paid millions of dollars to analyze football for the longest time, but Dan Orlovsky was practically wanting Aaron Rodgers to put it in his ear to talk about how awesome things were going to be with Aaron Rodgers. And he's got his guys and all sorts of stuff. He is the problem. So what happens, Joe, when you have an already historically shitty franchise and you add a agent of chaos to the mix? How did you think this was going to go?
Who had the audacity on September 11th to run out with the flag?
Right.
In New York City. Well,
that man.
In the greater tri-state area.
That man, the conspiracy theory man. Okay. So I think it's amusing. And if I sound like an ass, yes, I'm absolutely going to be an ass on this because it's like all of the entire NFL media has finally gone into their own darkness cave, did a bunch of ayahuasca themselves, saw true enlightenment. And in the last week, they go, oh, Aaron's kind of a dick. And oh, Aaron kind of sucks. Welcome to the show, guys. Took you 2 freaking years, but you're finally here. And I can be salty about the fact that it took all these people, all this evidence finally come to the conclusion that there's no turning back for Aaron Rodgers, right? But here's the thing that I'm going to find fascinating. How is he going to handle this? Because he's always had people cape up for him. And he's got McAfee doing it every Tuesday.
He'll find someone to give him a chance next year. Brett Favre Viking style.
Yeah, maybe the Panthers
there'll be somebody that he gets to play for next year, but
Panthers?
Why would you do that to Handsome Dave? He's already being punished enough.
Oh my goodness, he would get eaten alive by Handsome Dave. All right. I saw a stat somewhere that like I have to go back and verify it, but it's something like 42 different quarterbacks have played, or like upwards of 50 quarterbacks have played this season already.
Okay.
For a variety of reasons, injuries, all that kind of stuff, right? Little did we know that Jameis Winston was going to be the one that was going to just electrify everybody on Sunday for the Cleveland Browns as they beat, at the last minute, the Baltimore Ravens. Jameis Winston also went viral after the game. I'm not going to play the clip because CBS will flag it, but he quoted, as if he were a youth hockey coach, the lines from Eminem's Lose Yourself. He was just like, you got one shot.
Oh.
Like he like quoted it, like, oh, shout out to this.
Better than his Bible verses.
Shout out to Eminem, also the kind of stuff, arms are sweaty, palms are sweaty, mom's spaghetti. I'm going to go out there and win it, right? But I do feel like, look, this could be the hottest take on the planet right now. But I do feel like the Cleveland Browns showing you what happens with Joe Flacco the previous year and Jameis Winston this past week, that the Deshaun Watson guaranteed contract was the worst decision by a football franchise in modern sports history.
Hit the button, man.
Which button?
Tell me something good.
Yeah, I guess this applies.
Tell me something good.
One, but 2 NFL franchises made bigger mistakes at quarterback than you did.
Hey!
The Jets with Aaron Rodgers, the Browns with Deshaun Watson.
You got that going for you. So props to Jameis, man. That guy's just, I love every time he has the mic.
Come on.
Every time he has the mic.
No.
Every time he has the mic.
No.
It's hilarious. But then again, I'm sure his algorithm's a little weird too.
Wait. Oh, wait a minute. I hit the wrong button. I have the pitch up. Hold on.
I am a robot.
Sorry, I was hitting the wrong button. Forgot I hadn't moved it over yet. Washington against Chicago.
That was wild.
Well, did you see the Chicago safety who was taunting the crowd and then not realizing the play had happened, but he had enough time as Jaden Daniel was dancing around, because I think they only rushed like 3 guys on that and dropped everybody back. And then, of course, this is the same guy that then tips the ball that lands into the Washington receiver, and there's your ball game. Hilarious.
Instant karma.
Yeah, right? That is instant karma. I bring this up, I've noticed that in Washington circles, they're starting to feel it again. Like this team just has it, as the kids would say. They have that aura about them. The Eagles have turned things around a little bit. I know you're making a face. The Eagles have turned things around a little bit.
That was a starchy one for me yesterday.
But I do feel that the way Washington seems to be having a blessed season so far, that they still will end up winning the division. They certainly look like a playoff team, all things considered. But they do look like a team that is going to make the playoffs. And I think it's a team that, if it continues to be a blessed season, they're going to find themselves winning the division, which does get us to look no further that the Nick Sirianni Eagles, after the man cut his own hair and wanted to fight with Eagles fans and got the other Joe Giglio in Philly so fired up that it was donezo, it was a wrap for Sirianni in Philly, Well, they're now 5-2 coming off a 37-17 win over Cincinnati. It helps that they're getting healthy and Saquon Barkley is fueled by the pettiness of what the Giants did, but they actually look like they're competent again. Weird.
Their schedule is absolute garbage.
Yeah.
The teams that they've beaten, Cleveland with Watson, the Giants, and now the Bengals. That was a good win yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They get out of here, though. They're completely fraudulent.
They were like this a couple years ago, too, when you were looking at their schedule. And they were fraudulent.
That was Shane
2 years ago?
Steichen. That
Yeah,
was
Shane
with
Steichen.
a better offensive line, better defense up front. I mean, this has got Brady loses in the first round written all over it. They'll make the playoffs, sure enough, but they'll lose their wild card game.
And then, of course, we'll close on this. Dallas Cowboys, still them boys.
They actually looked good yesterday. I thought Brock Purdy played one of his better games.
He did.
In the NFL yesterday. I thought what's his name was in his bag. Shanahan was in his bag.
Mm-hmm.
The white receiver from Iowa who got shot looks pretty good. Pearsall.
Oh, I was like, what? Oh, yes, you're right. That's a hell of a way to identify the man.
It looks pretty good.
Okay.
Now he was in his bag a little bit, moving Debo around and second string backup running backs in true Shanahan family form.
If that's how they feel, and I know they've had these injuries, I'd be curious to see if the Panthers make another deal with the 49ers for, say, Deontay Johnson, as we talked about earlier. They could use if the 49ers have something still in them left, and they know that they're not getting some of these guys back, right? Or the previous injury history, you can't count on the fact that they're going to be completely healthy the rest of the way. As you mentioned, Debo, right? I could see them trying to make a deal. Just be curious to see what they'd be willing to give up for a guy like Deontay Johnson, who, scheme him up, certainly would look a hell of a lot better in San Francisco than he would with the Carolina Panthers, right? I did see this kind of amusing point about the Steelers, right? Like the talk around Deontay Johnson is like, well, why'd you let this guy go in the grand scheme of things? Sometimes you swing and miss. Also, I don't know the level of how good Deontay Johnson is compared to the other wide receivers that have been on the market and traded already, as I mentioned earlier. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe something happens with San Francisco. Who knows? Maybe something happens today because we recorded in the morning and timestamp it. 1:02. I wouldn't be surprised. 1:02 on the podcast at 10:06 in the morning. Wouldn't be surprised if something happens the minute I hit publish. So just something to keep an eye on. So anyway, that wraps it up for our Sam Jones NFL lightning round, ladies and gentlemen. What are you owing over there?
That was the end of the program. I was going to put a plug in for the stickers.
Oh no, we still got Hey Joe to get through.
Okay,
we still got that to do. I will say this because we do have some Canes to talk about, right? I think we can take a quick hockey break right here, can't we? Let's do that.
Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hill.
The Carolina Hurricanes continue to look pretty good. They're 4-2 on the season right now. Saturday night against the Kraken, another nice performance by them. Rod Brind'Amour has essentially evenly played Kochetkov and Freddie Anderson, although as Tom Edwards wrote on OG Fans over at ogtrianglemedia.com, I think we're well past the moment where we need to be obsessing over the goalies. They've actually played, both of them have played fine. They've been pretty good, all things considered, except for one game from Kochetkov in the St. Louis game, right? It really comes back to the thing that we always talk about is your best players have to be your best players, right? And we've seen a consistency out of this. I think the only player that you probably want to see more of, like Seth Jarvis, he got the eye, and then he got hit in the eye, and then he has like the incredible goal on a breakaway, right? Up in Seattle. And then the only player that you probably are looking at going, hey, I'd like to see you get going too, would be Andrei Svechnikov at this point. But the season is early. And they'll be wrapping up Vancouver. They'll be wrapping things up against Vancouver tonight.
Yeah, they've won 5 of 6. They're 5-2 on this.
Oh, 5-2, my bad.
Yeah, they've won 3 in a row, unbeaten in Canada. So we'll see if they can continue that tonight against Vancouver.
You want to continue eating well at the arena, right? You trying to
making good choices.
You're trying to make some good choices throughout the week, and then you go to an arena and you're like, well, there's really nothing for me here.
Those chicken tenders.
Oh, I guess I'm gonna have
hot dog.
I'm gonna have to get the nachos again. Oh no, you don't. No, you
Sausage
don't.
Sandwich.
No, you don't. You can go to Happy and Hill at Lenovo Center. They got a cart there.
Winnable.
They got the Winnable. They got smoothies. They got all sorts of good stuff. So go check them out. Happy and Hale. And after you're done eating healthy, you know what you can do? You can go to O2 Fitness. Check out o2fitnessclubs.com. But as you know, they are more than a gym.
O2 Fitness, so much more than a gym.
I'll actually be headed to O2 this afternoon. My 13-year-old's every other week player development ran out. So he's like, hey, man, if I'm not going to be at the rink today, can we go to the gym? Because he's got to keep his gains going. Working, he never skips leg day. Working on that upper body to put kids in the board. That's what it's all about. So we're going to go to O2 Fitness later today. I probably need to sweat out some of the evil from the weekend as well.
A lot of options in terms of locations. You've got Durham, you've got Chapel Hill, Holly Springs, Briar Creek, Falls of the News, Morrisville, and of course, our home base here, Seaboard. I am headed over to see Krista today to do some Renew physiotherapy.
Nice.
Looking forward to my dry needling. Looking forward to getting that stretched out and ready to go.
Also, you can go to rhoback.com right now. Rhoback.com, RHOBACK.com. Use the promo code OG20 to save 20% off your order. The reason why I bring this up, we talk about polos, but they also have performance tees as well. So if you're headed to the gym and you're looking for really comfortable gym shorts that are versatile beyond just taking them to the gym, well, Rhoback's got it. You're looking for a performance tee that you can sweat through and be comfortable in? Rhoback.com. They've got that stuff as well. I'll be rocking a Rhoback tee when I go to the gym today. Corporate synergy, ladies and gentlemen. Rhoback at the O2. What do you got? You're scheming.
I got a couple of runs happening with Rhoback.
You're scheming.
If you would like a Rhoback hoodie with a logo on it, email me. For real. Because this is our problem when it comes to clothing. Like, I'm not going to guess on sizes.
Yeah, we don't know what size.
You know what I mean? So we have a deal cooking with Rhoback. That's my Venmo. You want my actual email here. We have a deal cooking with Rhoback for hoodies that will have a show logo on it.
Okay.
So send me your size if you are interested in a Rhoback hoodie. It will be red. It's like a light red, a heather red, I think is the actual term. And it will have a show logo on it. So that's a limited run, obviously.
Am I getting one?
Do you want one?
Yes.
Because it's a hoodie, not the golf shirt.
Yeah, it's a hoodie. I will wear it.
Yeah. What size hoodie do you wear? Large?
I'm a large.
Yeah,
I'm a large. I'll double check because I have a green one.
Yeah, the hoodies run true.
Yeah, so I'd be a large.
Okay. Perfect. I wear this is actually an actual thing with Rhoback because they're not in stores. Okay. I was playing golf on Friday over at Lonnie Pool. Shout out to Chip, Watson, and Scott.
I still got to get my trophy from last year.
Yeah, I think we might need to have Ethan from Easy Go on tomorrow.
Oh, so you were with my Easy Go crew from last year. They're good dudes.
They missed you.
Of course. No. They missed my handicap.
No. They remembered you. They were when I walked up. Dennis, the older guy, goes,
Yeah.
Well, you have a lot more clubs than the other Joe did last year. I said, yeah, I play golf. He goes, yeah, I think he had 4 clubs, including a junior putter. And I was like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. Hey, we won though. We won.
Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the deal about Rhoback. They're not sold in stores.
Yeah.
So JD, who is a golf pro, says to me, hey man, that's Rhoback that you're wearing. I said, yeah. And he goes, I can't try those on. It's like, how do those sizes run? What is that material like? I go, listen, this is the best material. All you gotta do is wear it, try it on, feel it. You'll be excited about it. So, and I told him, I wear a golf shirt XL. So I normally wear a XX shirt. So the hoodie, I wear XX. Golf shirt, I wear XL. So best material, best performance stuff in the business at Rhoback. And if you would like a red hoodie that may or may not have a certain logo on it, send me an email, giglio.joe@gmail.com. Because I want to order the right sizes. I don't want to guess. It's our money. I don't want to guess.
I'm with you on that.
Okay.
Big thanks to the Butcher's Market. Check them out. Butcher's Market, thebutchersmarkets.com. We've been talking a lot about entertaining, catering, things like that. Butcher's Market can do that for you as well. But Maybe you're the one who's putting the big Thanksgiving meal together. You do it yourself. Well, you can get everything you need at the Butcher's Markets. So again, check them out online at thebutchersmarkets.com. We thank them for being the sponsor of the OG Mailbag, which you can only listen to on ogtrianglemedia.com.
And OG Live Thursdays, brought to you by the Butcher's Markets. Hey, holidays are coming up. For real. Stop messing around.
Yeah.
If you're not one of these people who's like, hey, man, I love cooking. I love entertaining for 20 or 30 people.
Yeah, they got you.
They got you. And they cater now. So please go check them out. It's thebutchersmarkets.com.
All right, let's get out of here on the Hey Joe and some OG Sports Phone. What are you laughing at?
We just accessed 10 stickers.
Oh, nice. Love that. I love that.
Might actually need another run.
From Ramar, what did ECU gain by firing their coach a month early? A slightly better chance at a berth in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Hey, they took care of business against Temple this past weekend.
I love it when Duke fans get mouthy during football season.
Hey,
Ramar.
I know. It's very, very funny. Very funny. But hey, look, they beat Temple. That's all you can ask.
You know what you get? You get the ability to wake up in the morning and be like, hey, this isn't good enough for us. There's something to be said for that.
From Hazleton, you guys talk about ECU like they've won more than 2 conference championships and they're a perennial 10-game winner. This is what ECU is.
I love it when people get all they get all mad about ECU.
They get mad. Hey, you know what? Don't be mad about App State. They finally played a home game after Hurricane Helene. We get a nice win against Georgia State. We got to catch up with Sean Clark here relatively soon. From my guy Mike, because you love Thanksgiving themed food, Cowfish. I'll give him a free plug. Why the hell not? This is Thanksgiving burgerushi. What do you think, Joe?
Is that turkey
and gravy and stuffing and green beans? You down with that?
No.
I got to get the DiGiorno, though. We're going to do the pizza.
Yes, I'll do the pizza.
We are absolutely going to do the pizza. From ND Games, 919-444. Duke should not have lost that game. I'm assuming that's how it went. I'm assuming that's how the cadence was supposed to go with that. Speaking of the OG Sports Phone.
919-444-2211. Call the OG Sports Phone and curse or don't.
All right, let's go to, man, I'm getting so many spam. Apparently Ted Cruz has texted the sports phone. Trump has texted the sports phone.
Have you heard the latest? I almost played it for you.
Yeah.
There's a Trump ad that I believe is legit that says they tell you not to buy trucks. They tell you not to eat red meat. And they tell you not to use Zyn pouches.
What? I've not seen that ad.
I thought it was an ad for Zyn, but it's an ad. It's allegedly an ad for Trump, to vote for Trump.
He's going after the Zinni crew?
At first, I'm like, okay, red meat, I get that. Okay, the trucks, maybe. But then it was like, and they tell you not to use Zyn. And I was like,
I mean,
is this a Zyn ad or is
that a
Trump?
I'm sorry, is that a bad thing to tell you not to use Zyn?
I don't know.
Hey, give yourself cancer.
If you're tired of being lectured by the liberals, that was the next
is
part.
That what it is? Okay.
Save America.
Gotcha.
Use Zyn. That's how you're going to save America. The Chulies gum.
Let's. On that note, let's go to the sports phone. 704.
Hey guys, it's Paul. So it's definitely spooky season, and I think we're in the upside down because not only did Mac Brown take a UNC football team to Charlottesville, he took them to Charlottesville after a bye week, and not only won, but beat that ass. Okay, respect, old man. Respect. You still got something left in the tank. Now, no matter what happens the rest of the season, Mac Brown should retire at the end of the season. We can all agree on that. But what if you guys have been waiting on the wrong coach to pull the Dave Doran special? Feels pretty possible. UNC gets it together. They could win some down the stretch and send Mac off for the win over NC State. Maybe Mac's got the Dave Doran special in him. I know Carolina fans would really enjoy a strong finish to the season, something we haven't had since 2020, and that Orange Bowl appearance. And before Giglio says anything, I looked it up. And let's take Notre Dame out of the equation because Notre Dame should have been in the ACC to begin with. Miami would have technically finished second in the ACC at 7-2 in the conference, but they did not play they played one less conference game than everybody else, and also didn't have to play Notre Dame, whereas Carolina did, and that counted against their conference record. Carolina finished third at 7-3, and so in this scenario, Miami would have gone to the ACC title game, probably would have lost to Clemson. Clemson would have been in the title game, or would have been in the college football playoff, and the next highest ranked ACC team goes to the Orange Bowl. So either way, Notre Dame in the ACC, Notre Dame out of the ACC, UNC is in the Orange Bowl. So suck it, Giglio. Peace.
That was
a wide spectrum.
That was a Trojan horse to just tell you to F off on your Orange Bowl slander for the Tar Heels. That's what that was.
Yeah.
That was the longest actually set up.
They see
record.
that one differently than the reality.
Yeah,
in any other year, you do not end up in the Orange Bowl.
That's fair.
Believe whatever you want to believe.
From a 252 number.
Hey, Joe. This is JP calling from the 434. I'm actually from the 252 to a 919 podcast to talk about another 252 school. Anyway, ECU's up 56-28 at this moment. Apparently, all it takes is to fire your head coach, put the defensive guy in charge, and let both of them stand on the sidelines for ECU to figure out how to play football. As I'm calling from the great city of Charlottesville, and I know how much Giglio hates this place, I would just like you to know that I'm so thankful that the Tar Heels decided to lay a smackdown on the Wahoos for up here, so I can go to work on Monday at the great UVA and tell everybody to kiss my ass. Go Pirates! Have a great day.
To be clear, just like Chapel Hill and just like Boston,
yeah,
I don't hate Charlottesville.
I've only been once.
I dislike the people in those towns.
The bagel's good at that bagel joint, though. The Budos or whatever it's called.
It's overrated.
It's fine. I thought it was good. All right. This is from a 919.
Hey, Joe and Joe. Ovies, I need you to explain this shit to me. Got out here to Walnut Creek tonight, see some group called Whiskey Myers, and they've got the whole complete lawn closed off. What the fuck is that? Explain this to me, please. Shit.
That is called a miscalculation of venue.
Oh,
that's a miscalculation of venue. That's a show that probably should have been at Red Hat.
Yeah.
But because of booking schedules, calendar, when you get it on, what Live Nation deal brings you Whiskey Myers to that venue that also brings you a larger act to come to that venue, those types of things.
Where you are on the calendar too.
Yeah, there's all sorts of layers to how somebody ends up where they end up, right? And Whiskey Myers does not strike me as also, what was it, Saturday night when you had all that football go on. October's busy. It's the last night of the fair. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in October. In fact, in my years of trying to do events, I loathe doing things in October because everybody's got something going on. It's a lot of competition in October. So that gets you to a miscalculation or an unfortunate setup where you end up at a venue that's too large for you. And that happens on occasion at Walnut Creek where they just shut the lawn off because there's no reason to have anybody in the lawn. Oftentimes what they'll do is they might have had lawn tickets and they upgrade you to have a seat. And then sometimes there's even miscalculations within shows themselves. For instance, I worked the Boys to Men show a few weeks back or a month or so back. That was not supposed to be a highly attended show. It was only supposed to be a seat show, no lawn. But one of those last minute, I guess there must have been a flash sale. They suddenly sold a whole bunch of tickets and they opened up the lawn for that one. And they only had one side of the concessions opened up too, which was our side of the concessions. Because I thought, man, I'm moving a lot of beer for a Boys to Men show. And the reason why was because our side was the only side that was open. So there's all sorts of things that go on as to why a show ends up the way that it does. And yeah, I get it. Some people prefer the lawn. I'm one of those people. I prefer the lawn. Man spread. All right, from a 919.
Well, here we are, another week without a Dave Doran win. I mean, this is just getting ridiculous. I don't know why they haven't fired the guy yet. I mean, how many points did he put up this week? 0? He put up 0 points this week, and we're still just okay with that? What? Oh, they didn't play this week? Oh. Man, this Nature's Release stuff is great.
Hell yeah, man. Enhance your football weekends with our friends at Nature's Relief. All right, last one from another 919 area code.
As a native North Carolinian, fuck the Panthers. Can watch the Redskins game. The Redskins won on a Hail Mary. How about them Skins? The Wolfpack.
Curse or don't? Curse or don't?
Or curse?
Oh, who was the one who
don't.
recommended that I should be disguising my voice and calling in?
Oh, I forgot
on
who
the
it was.
OG Sports line, because then I could curse.
919-444-2211. Call the OG Sports phone and curse or don't.
You can text the sports phone as well. And we'll close on this from a 919 number. Someone much smarter than me once said, text yo shit while you shit. You can curse and text.
Mm-hmm.
And so here we are. Something happened to Jeff Collins and the D for the heels. Ritzy and the thick six. What a difference a year makes for UVA. Nobody expected that. My Dodgers are up 2-0. Put the 4 on the Wolf blood. Yankees forgot a cardinal rule. Never pitch to an injured Dodger in the World Series. That is a very good point. That's a very good point.
Nasty Nestor.
And only blot on my sports weekend was the damn United loss to West Ham. I will not drone on about soccer any further. Have a great weekend. We appreciate you not droning on about soccer. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up. Anybody can podcast on a Monday. What the hell are we going to do on a Tuesday? Well, guess you'll find out. See you then.